So Mandy says she's been on Everol Sequi for 3.5 years, and her doctor suggested she could try moving to Everol Conti. Um, but she thought that was for postmenopause. She still has a monthly bleed with the Sequi. So how would she know if it's the right time to switch? Bit of background, she's 48. She had regular periods before starting HRT as well.
Yeah, so there isn't it's a bit of an art. There isn't a cutoff. There's some guidelines, um, but everyone's different. So the guidelines are that and the other thing to say before I go down that route is if you're having a regular bleed with a sequential form of HRT, it's more likely that that's a withdrawal bleed from the HRT rather than a natural bleed. Having said that, a lot of my patients know that they're still ovulating and that they're still having what they feel is very much a natural bleed. And if that's the case, then it's probably not the right time to move to the continuous form of HRT. But you can have a bleed and then go on to the continuous form and actually be absolutely fine and go to be bleed free, which is a real benefit of the continuous form, combined form of HRT. And the continuous combined form of HRT gives slightly better endometrial protection compared to the sequential. So the guidelines are really around the age of the average age of the menopause, so around the age of 51, you think about it, or within 5 years of starting HRT, or if your bleeds before you went on HRT were more sporadic and less frequent, or the withdrawal bleeds had become less frequent or had actually stopped, which they can do for some women, they're kind of indicators that maybe you'd be absolutely fine moving to a continuous form of combined HRT. But even saying that, you've got to try it and see how you get on. And we normally say try it for 3 to 6 months. By the end of that period, you should then be bleed free going forwards. And if you're not, it's probably a bit early for you, and in which case you go back to the sequential. It's not harmful to go to a continuous form a bit too early. It just means you can get unscheduled bleeding that can be a bit all over the place. And it just means that it's more difficult then to know when something needs investigating or not.